Football League is sponsored by Liberty Mutual for your personal insurance, business insurance, and financial service needs. And by Taco Bell. Say hello to the great taste of...
Opportunity last week to win the game with a little swing pass and unfortunately dropped the ball, but you don't see that much out of him. Good pass receiver.
Picks up the first down, and the flag flies as he is tackled across the 40-yard line. Antonio Gibson on the stop. Freddie Wyatt.
Holding, number 89, second down.
So erase the first down, and now the ball will be moved back after the holding call against tight end William Harris.
They start out, as we said, running the ball, trying to establish that ground game because they haven't been able to throw the ball very successfully. But this situation right here with the penalties puts you in those obvious passing down situations. Not that you have to throw the ball on second and long. You can run and try to get your first down with 2 plays. But anytime you penalize yourself, it gives the defense a break. They lay their ears back and come after quarterback, makes it awfully tough.
Coming into this week, the Cardinal offense led the National Football League with an average of 410 yards per game. Then they got 30 in the first half. Halloran throws, and a one-handed catch by J.T. Smith.
Halloran is really not throwing the ball very accurately at all. Everything he's thrown is bounced off of people. He's been late getting the thing away, but this guy right here makes some great catches. Ex-punt returner for Kansas City, new lease on life with the St. Louis Cardinals. Caught an awful lot of passes. You see him breaking across the middle right here, and this makes a great catch. Adjusts the ball, makes a one-handed catch, brings it down. Great catch. That's why he's caught so many, huh?
Not all of them were that poorly thrown. There are the numbers on J.T. Smith in the past several seasons. And as you said, a brand new lease on life when he became a Cardinal. Sack for New Orleans as number 69, Patrick Swoops, got across the line of scrimmage and picked up Halloran as he tried to move up in the pocket. And that will make it 4th down and bring on a punting situation to the Cardinals. So once again, St. Louis is unable to move it on offense. This time the drive partially killed by the holding penalty against William Harris. And Greg Cater will punt it away for Gene Stallings' team.
It's a good thing Gene Stallings is a defensive coach. His offense is not going too well right now. The offensive coordinator is Jim Schaffner. Talking to Jim Schaffner yesterday, they said that they were going to keep things as simple as possible for this team.
Eric Martin begins to bring it back for New Orleans and gets across the 50 to the 49-yard line. William Harris made the stop, but Cater with the low and short punt, Martin with the good return. New Orleans has excellent field position to begin its first possession of the half.
My brother used to have remotes all over the place.
They were everywhere.
A TV remote, a cable remote, a VCR remote. Yeah. My brother was very confused.
I was very confused. I don't even know how to work this.
Then my brother bought a Magnavox TV with this amazing new remote.
And Magnavox invented it.
It's 3 remotes in one. It controls the Magnavox TV it came with and just about any other brand of wireless cable and VCR. So my brother's not confused anymore.
Yeah, and neither am I.
That's right.
In Canada, the rapids run a little stronger. Some people say you can taste it in the beer. Molson Golden. Molson is Canadian beer.
The Great American face. Rugged, distinctive. The Great American razor. Atra. Solid. Pivots for closeness. The Great American face deserves the Great American shave. Atra. Only from Gillette.
If you could ask for a truck that'll make you wonder how you ever got along without it, Toyota Standard Bed, the one that sets the standard for compact trucks with the biggest standard payload in its class, and the solid value that makes Toyota #1 in compact truck sales. Don't compromise. Don't settle for less than Toyota quality. Now who's looking out for #1?
Toyota.
Toyota! Who could ask for anything more?
The New Orleans Saints bring John Fourcade back onto the field at quarterback as they start with their first possession from the 49-yard line of St. Louis. 12:27 to go in the third quarter. Fourcade, who went out in the second quarter with a sprained knee, comes back on.
His ability to move around is one of his big assets. We'll see how this affects him with the knee injury.
Dwight Beverly carried the ball 20 times in the first half. And that was actually his 22nd carry. And there they are. Scab fans, as they call themselves, with scab pan bags.
It's a scab pan bag. That's a hot selling item around the country.
Last week's attendance cumulatively in the NFL, 256,000, and just a few comparative stats. Every 13 minutes and 25 seconds,
now, these
the
are
nation's
stats
largest fast food chain sells that many burgers.
These are stats that all NFL teams keep handy to pass on.
Or they will anyway. Beverly with his 23rd carry of the game, and this time Charlie Baker is there to stop him. Cardinals are beginning to catch on to Beverly.
Well, it's all they've been doing. It's all they've been able to do. John Forcade had some things going early in the game, was scrambling around, running with the ball, throwing the ball. The only guy they've had working for them is Beverly. Their quarterback turned the ball. Their second team quarterback turned the ball over. They ran a triple option there in the second quarter to try to move the ball, and they've been hampered by Forcade's injury.
Now, how easily will Forcade be able to get back in the pocket and set up on that gimpy knee?
It'll be awfully important to see how this is going to affect him, because like we said earlier, one of his assets is his mobility, and he looks like he's moving pretty well now.
Good throw. Waters with his third drop of the game.
He's the receiving guy of that tandem, too. That triple tight end set. They have Malcolm Scott, Ken O'Neill, and Mike Waters, and Mike Waters is supposedly the best receiver of that group. Forcade's still limping a little bit, but what you see right here is he comes out and he gives a little bit of a play fake, and you try to get Waters back in behind those linebackers, and that's where he is right there. Well thrown ball. You see Baker, the linebacker, chasing, just drops the ball.
Well, Jim Mora told us yesterday that Waters was one of the players who might be able to make the team when the regulars come back, but he certainly hasn't helped himself today with 3 drops. Tommy Barnhart punts it away now. High kick, angling toward the sideline. Sekahima lets it bounce.
Nice play.
And the ball will be dead at the 1-yard line. Flag down. Called out a 49-yard punt. Reggie Sutton was the man downfield to down it.
49-yard punt.
And now we await referee Freddie Wyant's report on the penalty flag.
Holding number 39, first down.
So Broderick Sargent is called for the hold. The penalty will be declined. St. Louis will have it at their 1 when we come back.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
You give your all to all you do. Don't settle for less from your shampoo. Wash and go Pert Plus.
Ordinary shampoo can't give you this kind of manageability. You need Pert Plus with a unique combination of effective shampoo for cleaning plus conditioner for control all in one. For great, easy-to-manage hair, it's one of a kind.
Just one shampoo does it all for you. Wash and go.
With shampoo, conditioner in one.
Pert Plus. Zestfully clean. Zestfully clean. You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
Do I look clean to you? Surprise. I'm not fully clean unless I'm zestfully clean. Soap leaves a sticky film on you that won't rinse away, but Zest rinses you fully clean.
Zestfully, zestfully, zestfully clean. You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
A doubleheader day of NFL replacement games continues as the Washington Redskins battle the New York Giants, coming up next on CBS Sports.
The way I see it, the Cardinals have about 3 inches of breathing space there.
All kind of room. Thought process that you go through back here, Jim, would probably be that you don't want to call anything that will get you in trouble, like pulling guards or pitches or anything where you have to toss the ball. You have to get the ball out to at least the 5-7-yard line to give your punter room where he can get out and punt the ball. You just have to get some kind of room out there, and you have to do it with a very limited play selection.
I don't think Farrell got anything on that play. Maybe he fell forward for a yard. It will be second down. Tackled by Ken Marchiol of New Orleans. And they give him credit for about 1.5 yards, so that was actually an effective play.
Need a couple more of those if they're going to get what they need.
This is McAdoo with the football. Antonio Gibson trying to wrestle it away from McAdoo. He says, I've got it, and the officials say, no, you didn't.
Saint defense very, very tough up the middle.
McAdoo, the ball carrier.
Off the corners is the place to go out here. Come off the tackles, off the tight ends block, and try to get outside somewhat. Not an outside running play, but off the corners, off the tackles, inside the guard and tackle areas.
Well, if you'd been in the living room for all but 3 plays in this game, you'd swear that the Saints are winning it.
You'd be right on top of it if you caught 3 plays. Of course, they've been turnovers by the New Orleans team that's hurt them, and one big special play by Sikahema.
Now it is 3rd down 9. McAdoo gets close to first down yardage before Patrick Swoops made the tackle for New Orleans. This will depend on where they mark the ball.
That's the place to try to get the ball out, off those corners where you can get out there and cut off some blocks and gain some yards. Try to get out and give your punter room, maybe pick up the first down. Up the middle as they were doing won't quite get it done.
Now they move the mark back in back of the 10-yard line, and that'll make it 4th down. And that drew a huge roar from the crowd. Well, no, maybe it wasn't a huge roar.
Did this group make a huge roar?
Not by huge roar standards in the NFL.
Not as huge roars go.
No. Maybe if you put them in a small discotheque, it could make a huge roar by discotheque standards.
Phone booth sounds. Well, they accomplished what they needed to. They did get the ball out and give their punter some room, but then their punter really doesn't hit the ball very good, and they're still going to give up some field position.
That's right. Cater hit a short punt. Martin made the fair catch. The Saints will have the football inside the St. Louis 40-yard line when we come back. Next Saturday's college football action on CBS Sports presents the number 2 ranked Cornhuskers of Nebraska against the 19th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. And Thurman Thomas, their outstanding running back. That'll be at Lewis Field in Stillwater, Oklahoma. You'll see it here on CBS Sports live at 2:30 Eastern Time. 8 minutes, 49 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. After a 29-yard Greg Cater punt, the Saints have the ball at the 39 of St. Louis. And on 1st down, John Forcade hits Eric Martin, and Martin is down to the 25-yard line before Ken Sims makes the stop on him. Good throw by Forcade.
Forcade gets set and throws a real strike. They're giving Eric Martin a lot of room. Look how far the defensive back at the top of your screen is off of him, and they'll take this every time they can get it. Forcade gives a little half sprint out to the other side. Eric Martin goes down about 7 yards and just turns and gets the ball, and then tries to run for the first down or run for whatever he can get. And they give you that much room on the outside, you got to take it.
14-yard pickup. Dwight Beverly with the football. And Beverly has a gain of about 3 down near the 20 before Curtis Greer comes over to help knock him out of bounds. Other scores from around this second replacement football weekend in the National Football League. Dallas leads Philadelphia 27-10 at the half. Tampa Bay still on the Reeves to Streeter touchdown, 7-3. Miami 21-0 over Kansas City in the 3rd quarter. Green Bay with a field goal to go ahead of Detroit. New England 14-0 over Buffalo in the 3rd. Houston 7-3 over Cleveland. Beverly gets close to the 20 on his 25th carry of the game. Beverly is over 100 yards now at 25 carries for 103 yards.
Yeah, he's been the workhorse like we said earlier. Leonard Smith makes the play or comes up to help to make the play. And last time the Saints were down on this position on the field, they brought Leonard Smith, the strong safety, number 45. They put him up there to help on the run support because the Saints are running the ball down here. They also put him up there. The Saints drop back to pass, then he comes. This time he's back off.
3rd down 5, and now flags will fly as play is stopped before the snap of the football. Forcade races over to the sideline to talk very quickly with Jim Mora. And apparently before the flag, the Cardinals had motioned for a timeout. So there'll be no penalty, just a timeout charge to St. Louis. And we'll stay right here as the Saints try to get back in the football game, trailing 17-6. Forcade comes back on, and listen to this, Kenny. 32,113 showed up in Soldier Field for replacement football between the Bears and the Vikings.
32,000 diehards. John Forcade over the sideline getting his head together over there trying to figure out what they can do here. Last time they were down on this part of the field, they were stopped by Leonard Smith coming on a safety dog. It rushed Forcade, sacked him one time, rushed him in the play before the series prior to this. They had a dropped pass by the tight end, Mike Waters. They've been trying to get the ball to their tight ends down here. I think this would be a good time to try to get the ball to the tight ends. Maybe down the middle, if you can get them in a double zone type thing down in here, I think the tight end would be a good receiver.
Well, Waters has dropped 3 today. Does a quarterback begin to lose confidence in a receiver?
I don't think you can lose confidence in him, Jim. I think you have to stay with him. The way you break a receiver's confidence is when you do get off of him, is when you stay away from him. Just keep throwing the ball at him. They'll catch it. There goes the tight end, right down the middle.
And Forcade jumps and throws the football.
They did try to get the tight end down the middle.
Number 80, Stacy Dawsey, was the man who made the catch over the middle on a kind of a little delayed routine.
Here you see Leonard Smith lined up outside. He's been bringing him and dogging him, but this time he just lines up and plays man-to-man coverage on Stacy Dawsey. There's the bump prior to the ball being thrown for the flag. Tried to get him underneath, running across, crossing patterns down inside the 10, 12, 15-yard line. Very good. Your tight end down the middle can be good.
And it was first down yardage, so the Saints have it at the 15 on the first down play. Beverly cuts up inside and gets near the 10-yard line. E.J. Jr. made the stop for St. Louis. Leonard Smith has been the pivotal figure in the game so far.
Here you see Leonard Smith. They line him up on the line. He plays pass defense sometimes. Here they bring him, but what you do is you tell your tight end. It's not a play that's designed to block him, but you tell your tight end, if you see that strong safety come, just get a little piece of it.
He got a pretty big chunk.
Got a big chunk of him.
Second down 7. Pass complete to Eric Martin.
Well, they're giving Eric Martin all kind of room on the outside. The defensive back half the time is not even making the picture. Anytime you get a guy that'll give you that much room on the outside, as they did several plays ago, you take that. Take that 4 or 5 yard gain, work the ball down in, and that's to your benefit to take. Anytime you get 6, 7 yards on a play like that, this close to the goal line, take it.
Martin's got 5 catches for 58 yards. Another factor besides the room, Kenny, he's pretty rangy, and both Cardinal cornerbacks are 5'9".
They throw the ball up, let him go up and get it. They seem to giving him an awful lot of respect playing way off of it. Here's their short yardage situation.
3rd and 1 in Busch Stadium. Rodenberger has first down yardage down to about the 2.
Rodenberger, big back, 6'3", 235 pounds. Get the body lean and try to get the first down yardage to give him his progress for the first down.
Charlie Baker made the stop, but now it will be 1st and goal for New Orleans.
Little play pass might not be good, might not be too bad right here, Jim. They've been running the ball down in here from their short yardage formation. Here's their short yardage formation. Maybe a little play pass might be good, maybe on 2nd down.
Triple tight ends. Dwight Beverly.
Touchdown. Great play. Good run. Dwight Beverly's doing an awful lot for his stock today. He's been the workhorse player. He's got great balance. He's got good leg strength. He gets that body lean going like that, and he's running behind Ken Kaplan, 6'5", 275 pounds, and Henry Thomas, 275. You get those big guys going forward, and that's what you got to do. Leonard Smith up on the line where he's been all day. You see the tight end. You see number 82 turning out to Ken O'Neill, blocking him out. There's the lead back, and good leg drive by Dwight Beverly. Touchdown.
It was Forney, 59, who got both hands on Beverly before he got to the goal line, and Dwight just dragged him into the end zone. And now Mike Kofer again fails to add the extra point. Hit the upright and bounced off.
Boy, those extra points can come back to haunt you, and they've got 2 of them today.
So it is 17-12 now as New Orleans gets its 2nd touchdown and fails on the PAT a 2nd time. As we bring you back to the stadium by the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, I'm Jim Lampley with Ken Stabler. The New Orleans Saints have just capped off a sustained drive with a touchdown that narrowed St. Louis's lead in this game to 17-12. We've got 4:29 to go in the third quarter. Mike Topher kicks off. By Sikahema brings it back across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And the Cardinals now bring onto the field an offense which has picked up 3 first downs in the game, 2 of them by penalty. This is the same offense which had a lot of yardage against Washington last week and came into the game as the #1 yardage producing offense in the NFL. There are the numbers for today.
244 yards for New Orleans, 44 for the St. Louis Cardinals. The defense has kept them in the game. Leonard Smith helping with turnovers. They forced fumbles. They've got a big special play from Sikahema, their punt return specialist, and that's what's keeping them in the game.
And they just got a broken tackle from Derek McAdoo and a big pickup from the fiery little running back out of Baylor. Derek Taylor finally put him down, but let's take another look at Derek McAdoo.
Here you see some tough running from Derek McAdoo. In between Ray Brown, who has an opportunity to stay with this team, and Tom Welter. Keith Redisick, the center, all the left side of the offensive line doing a nice job.
McAdoo made the team as a rookie, crossed the picket line on Friday, October 2. One of several players who crossed that day. Everybody thought they would help the Cardinals against the Skins last week. Gene Stallings said they might have hurt. Flag down as Earl Farrell takes the football and stops in his tracks.
I think we've got some movement on the offensive line. False start.
63, first down.
Yeah, interesting. Everybody thought that the Cardinals, with all the regular players back, were prohibitive favorites to beat Washington last week, and Gene Stallings said that he knew better going into the game.
Well, he did. He said that, well, they only came in like October 2nd, October the 3rd, a day or so prior to the game, and but yet he was in a no-win situation. They were in camp. He had to play them, so he played them. They'd only been in camp 2 or 3 days. They had 7 pass completions for over 20 yards apiece, and that was contributed to missed assignments by some of the veteran players.
Earl Farrell, carrying now on 1st and 15, has the pickup of about 4. Josie Forrest made the stop for New Orleans. So credit Farrell with a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down 9.
Well, they've got the ball out midfield here. They've got some room to do some things now, but they haven't been very successful. Their pass protection hasn't held up well, and when the pass protection has held up, then Halloran hasn't thrown the ball very accurately. So they've got their work cut out for them to move the ball. They're trying to do it on the ground right now, giving them a lot of motion, a lot of shifts.
Halloran is 2 of 6 for 5 yards. He gives again to McAdoo. Bill Rowe makes the stop for New Orleans. And the small crowd here begins to get a little restless with the Cardinal offense, or lack of it.
As a result of the lack of offense, they're running the ball and they're not maintaining control of the ball. They've created a passing situation here with 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8, and they've had to give the ball up the last 2 series of downs to the New Orleans Saints. And as a result, you can see that the momentum has changed. It favors the Saints now. Not exactly the stats you would think out of a St. Louis Cardinal quarterback that comes in here behind guys like Jimmy Hart, Neil Lomax.
Dropped by Troy Johnson, another returning veteran who crossed the picket line on Friday, October 2nd. Make it 2 of 7 for Halloran, and bring Greg Cater out once again to kick it away for the Cardinals.
Well, this has been the situation the last 3 series of downs. They'll get up there and not throw the ball well enough on 3rd down to maintain control, then they kick the ball away. The Saints, on the other hand, have been able to sustain some long drives through running with the triple option late in the second half, and then John Fourcade came back second half, completed some passes and moved the ball. The Saints have played much better ball on both sides of the ball, both sides of the line, offensively and defensively. Turnovers have hurt them.
Cater's last punt was a 29-yarder. This one is also short. Martin picks it up and gets back to about his 21-yard line. Coming up next, doubleheader action continues on CBS Sports, as most of you will see a very strong Washington Redskin replacement squad go to the Meadowlands to take on the winless New York Giants. The rest of you will see the 49ers face Atlanta, and in case you have dispensed with reading newspaper articles about the strike, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, and several other 49ers have crossed the picket line. We'll wait to see if they suit up and play. All that coming next on CBS Sports. numbers in the game. New Orleans has dominated ball movement and possession. Dwight Beverly, who's having a very big game, gets the football for the 28th time and is brought down by Gary Doolin after a pickup of about 6 yards.
The very same thing they've been doing is just off the corners with Dwight Beverly behind the big offensive lineman and maintain control of the ball. Then when they get the ball up around midfield, the thinking process goes to spread things out a little bit more, throw the ball. They get up in here, they see that people are giving Eric Martin an awful lot of room on the outside, so they throw the ball, but not backed up. They really get midfield before doing something like that.
Beverly on second down is stopped short of first down yardage as Goralczyk was there to meet him for St. Louis.
It's the very same thing they've been doing the whole game. Same type of attack. The thing that keeps them behind is the special teams play that Sikahema made, and then the turnovers by their backup quarterback when Forcade was hurt.
On the sideline for St. Louis, Sammy Garza, who is listed as the backup quarterback behind Halloran, has begun to warm up. Garza didn't play last week against the Redskins, but Stallings was looking for a chance to use him today. Third down for the Saints. Malcolm Scott with the football has first down yardage across the 35 near the 40-yard line. Tony Mays made the stop for the Cardinals.
Take their two tight end formation and run people off, run people through the secondary and run people off, and then try to get the tight end up underneath. This gentleman right here was a lot of teams when these replacement teams are being put together. There were several different teams that had a lot of interest in Sammy Garza. The reason he's not starting here is because he really hasn't picked up the system, hasn't been here long enough to pick up the system the way that Gene Stallings would like.
There's an interesting story about Garza's presence in a Cardinal uniform, which we'll get to in a moment. On first down for the Saints, Forcade begins to look around, goes back across field to Beverly, and Beverly is across midfield and into Cardinal territory. There's a flag down back in the New Orleans backfield.
That's just great vision on Forcade's part to be able to scramble back to your right and see somebody on the middle of the field back. They're not going to get it because of the penalty, but it's just great vision on his part to be able to sprint out and stop and throw the ball back across the field and see someone like that.
So they'll move it back, and as they do, we pick up the story on Garza. He played at the University of Texas at El Paso and had the best passing statistics in the Western Athletic Conference last year. But the Cardinals spent their #1 draft choice on another WAC quarterback, Kelly Stouffer of Colorado State. Stouffer never signed. He's not here. Garza is. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, the St. Louis Cardinals 17 and the New Orleans Saints 12. We now pause for a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Northwest. Look who gives you more of the world from more of the USA. Look to Northwest. And by Castrol, the motor oil engineered for today's smaller cars.
John Forcade drops back for New Orleans and almost throws an interception as the Saints begin the fourth quarter with the football at their 29-yard line.
I think Forcade tried to force that one. He had his running back, Rodenberger, right over the middle. He could have dumped the ball to, but he tried to force that one.
Cheap seats, Kenny.
Yep. What do those go for?
Well,
is that the new St. Louis skyboxes that you...
Is there admission to the Gateway Arch?
It's a very expensive skybox.
I don't think the Bidwell family wanted those skyboxes to be...
Get there by shuttle, space shuttle.
There's a lot of space between here and there, that's for sure. But you can see the eyes of people who are watching the game from up there. On second down and 20, it is Beverly who has a pickup of only a couple before the ubiquitous Leonard Smith is there.
Leonard Smith's doing it on both sides of the ball. He scores points for him, and he's stopping them, too. He's done an awful lot for this team defensively. Rushes the passer on the safety blitz, lines up, plays run support as almost like a linebacker on the outside.
3rd and 17. 6:32.
Leonard Smith is a fifth-year player out of McNeese State in Louisiana.
Here's their three wide receivers, obvious passing down.
On 3rd and 17. Stacy Dawsey is dropped.
That particular situation, the St. Louis Cardinals will just drop back into deep zone coverage and give them the short pass underneath for long yards, stop them short of the first down.
It was E.J. Jr. who made the stop on Dawsey, so now Tommy Barnhart will come on to kick it away for New Orleans. And Sikahema will go deep to receive for St. Louis. Last year's Pro Bowl kick returner standing at his 20-yard line. He's already had one punt return, which set up a field goal today. Barnhart
went after him.
Couldn't get out of trouble. Victor Harrison, number 86. Check it. It was Adrian McBride, number 86. Adrian McBride of St. Louis, number 86.
Here you see it right here. They line up and come straight off the corners. Good snap, but there's just no place to kick the ball. There he is right there. Adrian McBride right on top of him. They line up in the block situation, come off the corners, and come and get him.
And it was Tony Mays who got there first. So Barnhart,
special teams, does it again.
Stunned by the rush. And now the Cardinals have a chance from the 27. That is Derek McAdoo with the ball, and indeed Sammy Garza has come on to take over at quarterback for St. Louis.
Jim, talking to Gene Stallings, he was real high on this young man. Like we said earlier, the reason he hasn't played is because he's only been in a short period of time. You see him right there looking at that wristband on his wrist. It's a group of plays, probably some passing plays, probably some short yardage plays, something he can refer to keep him going. A lot of teams wanted this young man when they started fielding the replacement teams. A lot of teams liked him. A lot of teams wanted him. Gene Stallings thinks he might have some ability to play.
On second down, this is McAdoo who gets down near the 15-yard line and is going to have a first down for the Cardinals. Only their 5th first down of the ball game. Bill Rowe made the stop. McAdoo tough again.
Here you see McAdoo over Tom Wilder and Ray Brown coming in. There's a lead blocker, Farrell, in front of him. It's real tough running, big strong legs, gets the body lean going, knocks it down in there for the first down.
Well, he's a pugnacious little guy, 5'10", 198 pounds. You saw his numbers. Here he is again. A week ago, McAdoo and Vi Sikahema had a shoving match on the sideline after McAdoo got in front of Sikahema and took a kickoff return away from him.
Well, these guys get this opportunity to play, and they want to make the most of it. If it's their turn to line up, you can bet they're going to get out there and line up. It's a last shot thing for a lot of these players. They want to make the most of it.
He's a distant cousin of the former University of North Carolina basketball great Bob McAdoo, star of various NFL teams, NBA teams, I should say. Former league scoring leader in the NBA and in the Italian league. Garza rolling out near the goal line, down to about the 2-yard line.
Designed play. Designed play to get him outside. He's got good running ability, and you see right here he gives a little play fake and comes in. You see Farrell, number 31, is going to lead him. Comes in front of him and leads him out there. He cuts off a Farrell's block right here and gets it down in there for the first down. Do things like that instead of throwing the ball with somebody who hasn't been in camp long enough to get down the passing game. You do things for design things like this for a quarterback who has that kind of mobility.
They mark it at the 4-yard line and call it 1st and goal for the Cardinals from there. So Garza comes on and gets 2 quick first downs as the Cardinals try to take advantage of the scoring opportunity created by the rush on the punter.
Ill-advised throw as far as I'm concerned. You get down in there inside the 5-yard like that, you got a play pass call, you get out there and you try to force the ball in there, the ball gets intercepted, it kills you. Just take the ball and throw it in the cheap seats.
Intended receiver was McAdoo. And we welcome those of you who have been watching Dallas and Philadelphia. Tony Dorsett had a touchdown run in that game, Kenny. I'm Jim Lampley with Kenny Stabler. We're in Busch Stadium in St. Louis. That's the score with 11:38 to go in the game, and now the Cardinals try to stretch that lead. Sammy Garza calling signals, giving to Derek McAdoo, and McAdoo is down near the goal line.
Nice cut. Two tight end situation with the wing man, and they put a lead back on the linebacker and let him cut off of that block. Good tough running by Derek McAdoo.
You're looking at a game which has been dominated offensively by the New Orleans Saints, but in which the Saints fell behind 17-0 as a result of their own mistakes and St. Louis's ability to take advantage. A long return of a fumbled snap on a field goal attempt for a touchdown, a field goal set up by a punt return, and then a return of a fumble for another touchdown made it 17-zip.
There it is.
Sammy Garza is going to make it 23-12.
That's the thing that the mobile quarterback can do is you get him outside and you give him an option. You give him an option of throwing the ball. You try to get the tight end back in the back of the corner. If everybody drops off, then you take the ball in. Here's what we were talking about. It's a design sprint out play. You see Garza, who is very, very mobile, can run. He's got lead blockers in front of him. He takes a look at his tight end, throws the ball, holds the ball up in the air, pulls it down, goes in for the touchdown. You can design things like that for a quarterback who can get outside and run. John Forcade's that type player, so is Sammy Garza.
Starofsky adds the extra point, and again, a key New Orleans mistake backfires against the Saints. Tommy Barnhart trapped as he tried to get rid of a punt. That set up a touchdown for St. Louis.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Every day, millions of batteries die an early death. They die in flashlights, cameras, radios, simply because they lost some life waiting to be bought. But only new Duracell battery packs have a freshness state that guarantees they'll live a long life, not a short one. Freshness stating from Duracell.
And join the party.
Well, the new hero on the sideline for St. Louis is Sammy Garza, who has just scored his first National Football League touchdown to stretch a 17-12 St. Louis lead to now 24-12. And the drive covered 26 yards in 7 plays after the New Orleans punter, Tommy Barnhart, was trapped without being able to release a punt. Michael Adams makes the catch on the kickoff by Starofsky and gets the ball back across the 30-yard line. One thing you see in the replacement NFL are extremely short kickoffs.
Yeah, the kicking game has, you see a lot of special team scoring. You see punt returns, you see kickoff returns. You'll see an awful lot of block punts and putting pressure on the punters because they only have a certain amount of time to work with these guys on special teams, and it's a time-consuming thing to work on special teams.
What was the stat? There were 7 punts blocked around the league last week.
John Forcade back in. He's been limping. He got his knee hurt earlier in the game. It doesn't seem to hurt his mobility, but they go right back to their workhorse.
Dwight Beverly, who has become one of the busiest running backs in the National Football League today, now has 123 yards in the game. Beverly didn't play all that much last week, although he started. It was Vincent Alexander who got most of the action at the running back position, but this week Alexander went away to San Diego to visit a girlfriend, and bingo, Beverly became the man. Beverly falls forward this time for a few yards as a penalty flag goes down.
Holding. Second down.
Well, that holding call goes against Mike Waters, the tight end, and that'll wipe out a carry by Beverly. So leave him at 31 carries on the day. The club record, Kenny, is 35.
Who holds the club record?
Who do you think?
Let's see. Otis Anderson?
No, how about, we're talking about the Saints. So
the Saints? Ruben Mays. Earl Campbell, okay.
It was Earl.
Played with Earl Campbell for Houston, played with Earl Campbell in New Orleans. What a great player he was.
Yeah, and when you had him in the I formation, that was what Bum wanted you to do.
In the I formation and pound off the tackles, and he was good at doing that.
New Orleans was 14 of 18 on third downs last week, 9 of 16 this week. And if Martin had held that one, they'd have had another third down conversion.
Ball a little bit behind him. Fourcade sitting in the pocket pretty well. He threw the ball pretty good. Threw the ball a little bit behind him on Eric Martin's left hip. Should have been caught.
Immediately following this game, stick with CBS Sports for the doubleheader game 2. Many of you will see Washington and the Giants. Some of you will see San Francisco against Atlanta. Check the local listings for the game in your area. Jim Moore, the coach of the New Orleans Saints, now watches his team attack third down and 15 yards to go from the 27-yard line.
Shotgun to 3 wide receivers.
There is the third down conversion as Fourcade gets it into the hands of Eric Martin. He's limping badly, but that was a heck of a throw.
That's the thing that he does the best. Is when he gets outside, he's like the old way when he gets outside. He gets out there and moves around. He improvises, gives guys a chance to run and move and to get open. You see him, he gets outside here. Buys a lot of time. He's got great vision of the field. You see he stops and throws the ball back. He sees Eric Martin cutting in behind the linebacker, E.J. Jr., and he throws a strike on the run going to the side that he doesn't normally sprint out to. Very talented young quarterback.
25-yard pickup. Incomplete this time. Fourcade was dumped by Gary Doolin, and he gets up limping very badly. Attendance here has been announced at 11,795. Green Bay has 35,779 fans in attendance today.
Well, there's a lot of people that speculated that the attendance would be down after the curiosity factor brought people in last week, but it looks as though that the attendance is probably up.
So it looks like the upper Midwest is the hotbed of replacement football, with 32,000 at Chicago and 35,000 plus at Green Bay. Fourcade almost throws an interception. Is prevented from doing so by Victor Burnett, who dumped him as he released the ball.
His leg has really bothered him an awful lot, and he's admired him for playing the way that he's playing, but it's hurting him an awful lot. That time he has had trouble stepping up in the pocket and getting rid of the ball. And you can see right now that he's really limping, but I admire him for doing what he's doing.
He was coaching football and teaching at John Ehret High School when the Saints contacted him.
When he's outside, when he gets outside and sprints out and gets out there and buys some time, he's a dangerous quarterback.
He's a pretty good coach over at John Ehret High School. Blitz. Catch.
We'll get a little interference call here with the catch.
Scott was dragged down just short of first down yardage.
Defensive pass interference, number 27, first down.
27 is Tony Mays, the free safety out of Kentucky.
Here you see him in the shotgun, probably because his mobility of that bad knee, and here you see him, he delivers the ball right on time, but you see the defensive back hanging on him like a cheap suit, but he still makes the catch and gets it up in there close for the first down.
So they get the first down on the pass interference call. Scott was short of first down yardage.
They may have gone to the shotgun because it takes a lot of pressure off of Fourcade's knee.
He got hit again, though. Gives to Beverly, and Beverly cuts up inside and twists and turns for a couple. Moving the ball to the 37-yard line. Clock running with 8:20 to go. Saints are going to have to score twice to win it. Beverly's going to get a momentary breather.
Second and 6. They're going to have the arm of Fourcade to get it done because the clock is working against them. They've got to have a couple of scores. The other two quarterbacks, one of them was running the wishbone. The other one was ineffective as a rookie backup quarterback. Fourcade has to do it for them if they're going to get it done.
Boy, Torrey makes some nice throws on the run, doesn't he?
He does that as consistently as anybody I've ever seen. He looks like Archie Manning when he's playing like that. He gets outside, runs around out there, and gives guys time to room, gives guys time to work and to find those holes, find those spots.
We welcome those of you who've been watching Dallas and Philadelphia. There's the time remaining in the fourth quarter. After a throw from John Forcade off a very gimpy knee, New Orleans has first down at the 20-yard line. This is a game which has been dominated by the Saint offense, which is going to catch a break here on the apparent pass interference call against Ken Sims of the Cardinals. Saints have moved the ball up and down the field as referee Fred Wyant makes that call against St. Louis, and that's going to set up a first and goal for New Orleans. But St. Louis went up to a 17-0 lead.
They come out in the spread formation to get their man-to-man coverage, which they got. They got man-to-man coverage. This guy's been giving Eric Martin an awful lot of room all day. This time he's all over the top of him. You expect that man-to-man coverage when you get down on this part of the field. They spread things out to get the man-to-man coverage, to spread the defense, and then go to work.
Cardinals lead in the game 24-12. All 24 of their points set up by special teams play and New Orleans mistakes. Forcade, the quarterback for New Orleans, who was brilliant against the Rams last week, has been nursing a strained knee ever since the second quarter. But the Saints must use him to have any chance of coming back. So it is 24-12 St. Louis. Saints threatening with 7:02 to go, and we'll be back.
Hi, we're almond growers. We know many of you enjoy the great taste of barbecuing, which improves the flavor of everything, including almonds. A friendly word of advice. If you try to barbecue almonds, they're likely to fall through your grill. So we've barbecued them for you.
That's right. That's right.
You're welcome.
Blue Diamond almonds, now in barbecue and 7 other great tastes.
A can a week. That's all we ask.
You know, it's funny. When I tell people I really do use Prel, they don't believe me. They think that because I'm a model, I have a bathroom full of hairdressers or something. The truth is, I really love what it does to my hair. It gives my hair body and fullness. You really should try it yourself. You'll love it. And if you don't, they'll give you your money back. Your hair's worth at least that, right?
Well, you know the bad news.
Charlie Carlson is in the meeting of his life, and his shirt is perfectly dry. But that doesn't mean he smells good. Because underarm odor is invisible, he needs total protection. Sure Solid.
If everyone would take a
Sure not only helps protect against wetness, it actually kills bacteria that cause odor. So, Charlie, why go to work with a dry shirt and a false sense of security? Use Sure Solid, and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness.
A doubleheader day of NFL replacement games continues as the Washington Redskins battle the New York Giants, coming up next on CBS Sports.
We are back at Busch Stadium, where the New Orleans Saints are going to try to get close to St. Louis once again. What did I say about the upper Midwest? I'll give you that number in a minute.
Here's their short yardage formation, Jim. Right off the corner.
Dwight Beverly has the touchdown, which gets the Saints back close in the game again.
He's done it all day for him. He's picked up the crucial third down plays and running right off the corners with Dwight Beverly. Here you see it down low. They come out in their short yardage formation. They go off of Dyer and Gilbert, to big left tackle, and James Camper, 6'3", 260, and Beverly, who's done it all day, just bangs it in there right off the left tackle.
33 carries, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns now for Beverly from the University of Illinois. Mike Cofer has had the dickens of a time trying to get a PAT through the goalposts. Flags are down right now. That one is the second one in a row to hit the upright. He's going to patent that particular move.
Offside, number 45.
Well, we're going to get another shot.
And that time he caught the inside of the upright, and they can decline the penalty and put the point on the board. So they narrow to 24-19. Attendance at Dallas today for replacement football between the Cowboys and the Eagles, 40,662.
Wouldn't have thought it.
We'll be back.
That's surprising.
A difficult time all day for the Saints. This is the third PAT try not to go through cleanly. But Beverly on the sideline reacted by saying, oh my, we got one. We have a PAT.
Well, he understands how important those extra points are. Yeah, they make you go a long way for those points. You need every one you can get, especially in those cases. Of course, in this situation, they've got to have another score to win anyway.
Figure this, Kenny. If they're going to beat the Cardinals with 4 touchdowns, they would have to have 1 PAT.
1 out of 4 would be good enough. You can ask your kicker to get one of those, maybe.
They got that one, so now they don't have to worry about that. A 6-pointer could win for them now. Ofer kicks it away. Good long high kick. Reasonable anyway. Sikahema from the 5. Gets out to about the 22. Tony Woodruff, Gene Atkins made the stop for the Saints. Now here's what's happened in the game so far. St. Louis got 14 points directly from turnovers. Dwight Beverly has had a huge game running the ball for New Orleans, and they have dominated ball possession and total yardage and first downs in the game. But St. Louis, because of their ability to capitalize on a few big plays, leads 24-19. The St. Louis offense looked miserable until the moment when that man, Sammy Garza, came into the game on the last Cardinal possession and took him to a 26-yard touchdown drive after Tommy Barnhart was trapped trying to punt the ball away from New Orleans.
Well, Sammy Garza and the St. Louis offense, their responsibility right here is to work on the clock. There's 6 minutes and 40 seconds left. They're leading 24-19. Get some first downs and do it on the ground. Get them out there. Like I said, work on the clock. Get the ball out there. Control the clock. If you have to punt, then play for field position.
And if the Cardinals can win the game, Kenny, they may be inventing a new way to win in the NFL. They are -2 yards passing on the day.
I wouldn't count on winning every game with -2 yards passing, but their defense has helped them out an awful lot. The Saints have helped them out with the turnovers, and their special teams has made it happen for them.
You'd have been embarrassed to win a game with -2 yards passing.
Wouldn't claim it.
Garza would love to claim it. He passes the ball now to Derek McAdoo, and McAdoo gets out of bounds.
You see, he's got his wristband on his left hand. He hasn't been in camp very long with this team, and it's a way to help him out. He'll have a list of plays on there, maybe some third down plays, maybe some pass plays, and some short yardage plays. The play he just called right then was a safe play to call in this situation, backed up your own territory. Throw a little flat pass out there where the back can get out there and try to get some yards.
Didn't get him a first down, but it got him into the black on passing yards.
Got him into the black. Need a first down here. This is a big play for them to maintain control and work on the clock.
And what are you going to do on 3rd and 4? New Orleans shows blitz and brings it. Garza almost throws it into the hands of number 29, Reggie Sutton. No flag down. Fans wanted interference.
They get a break there. Kickoff right there, and they got a new game starting. Here you see Garza backing up and throw the ball. He gets it set back there. He gets a little bit of a push. He has to throw the ball a little bit before he wants to, but it's really ill-advised. He had good coverage on the outside. The best thing to do is just throw the ball away and punch. You give up a turnover right there, and then you got a new game.
There's Reggie Sutton, who had a touchdown on a blocked punt last week against...
Looks like they're coming after the punter here.
Rams. Gators punt. Taken by Eric Martin. He gets a couple of illegal blocks. Got a couple of illegal blocks.
Got a couple of clips.
And got it near midfield. A picket line of clips. Peter Noga was downfield to cover the kick for St. Louis, and Peter Noga is down. For the second time in the game, Noga is shaken up, this time on the sideline right in front of the New Orleans bench. Doubleheader game 2 coming up right after this on CBS Sports. Many of you will see the Washington Redskins against the New York Giants. And the rest of you will see the San Francisco now not so phony Niners against the Atlanta Falcons.
Joe Montana and his group coming in and take on the Falcons. We'll see what they do.
A dozen players cross the picket line all in the same day.
And they've been in there long enough to put some things together too, so they should be pretty effective.
Noga leaves the field. Outside, his brother Nico Noga remains on strike, while Peter wears his number for the Cardinals.
Plenty of time here for the New Orleans Saints. They've got 5 minutes, 40-something seconds left to go. They've got 70 yards worth of real estate to cover, and that's plenty of time to do that. They just have to get their plays called effectively and use their timeouts effectively, throw the ball outside. You tell your backs and your receivers to get out of bounds when necessary.
Mora has shed the jacket as he sees a little warmth, perhaps in Forcade's performance today. Forcade gives to Beverly, and the 34th carry of the game for Beverly gets him a few yards before Charlie Baker brings him down. Beverly now 1 carry away from matching Earl Campbell's club record for most carries with the football.
Here they're going to give them some spread looks. They're throwing formations because they realize they're going to have to put the ball in the air to get down the field. They get those spread formations, drop back to pass, let those linebackers drop out of there and slip a draw in on them like they did then.
2nd down and 6 yards to go. Drop of the day for Mike Waters.
Mike Waters was supposed to be the receiving tight end in this outfit. We talked to Jim Moore, and he had two tight ends who are good blockers. This gentleman right here was supposed to be the receiver of the tight end group. And you see Forcade back, sets in the pocket. There he is, right between the two linebackers. He couldn't, a little bit behind him, but the tight end should make the catch. Receiver should make that one.
Well, he had both hands on it. Indeed, the pass was about a half step behind him. Waters runs off with the blonde hair flopping against his shoulder pads. There's the passing yard statistic, showing New Orleans dominance in that category. Forcade on 3rd down runs for the 1st down. This is a gutty performance.
He really is. He's showing something right now. There's some intangibles in some players that you don't really see, and he's showing us one that he has. He's got that bad leg, but yet he understands what he has to do to win. They give him a spread formation and a shotgun. He drops back, sees that big opening because they're playing zones. The linebackers run out of there in those zones. Forcade sees that he can get the 1st down by running, protects himself by sliding in.
He has carried the ball 4 times for 40 yards in the game. Converted 3 third downs on those 4 carries. Beverly drops the football. Cardinals have it.
Well, oddly enough, it happens to the guy who's been carrying them all day. He's got 130-something, 40 yards, and sets a team record for carries, and then oddly enough, lays it on the ground.
And ironically, it happened on the carry on which he equaled Earl Campbell's club record in that category.
Here you see it right here. Nothing fancy, just a plain vanilla. Off behind Ruttenberger's block, behind 77 left tackle's block. He gets hit, the ball pops loose. And it, like you say, on the carry that sets the record, Charlie Baker forced the fumble, number 52, the linebacker. Tony Mays recovers.
McAdoo gets outside. Big run for Derek McAdoo. Derek Taylor made the saving tackle. Clock runs.
Here you see McAdoo behind the left side of that offensive line, behind Tom Welter, Keith Redisick to center, and Ray Brown. Ray Brown, a player who may remain with this team, but he gets outside containment, cuts in behind the wide receiver's block for a good game.
J.T. Smith with a block that helped to spring McAdoo around the corner. Good numbers for the little running back from Baylor. Here he goes again. Near the 20. Before Derek Taylor again made the stop.
Doing what they have to do on offense. They realize there's only 3 minutes left in the game, and the thing that they have to do is to take the ball away from the New Orleans Saints. Don't put the ball in their hands. Keep it away from them. The best defense against them is not to give them the ball. They're maintaining control of it on the ground, working on the clock.
That was another 1st down for the Cardinals. McAdoo now with 15 carries for 84 yards. This is Farrell. And Farrell sneaks up inside for a couple before DeForest stops him.
They give him the same formation that they pitched from. They give him the I formation. The quarterback reverses out, fakes the toss to McAdoo, gives to Farrell inside.
Gene Stallings can see his team even its record at 2-2.
I think Gene Stallings has to be pleased with what he sees out of his running backs. He was interested in seeing what Derek McAdoo, what he can do. He knows what Farrell can do. J.T. Thomas, he knows, is a good player. I think he'll be real pleased with their offensive performance running the ball. They haven't thrown the ball at all.
McAdoo, the ball carrier, met by Scott Leach. Well, it's a strange year in the NFL. And in the NFC East, with the Giants off to an 0-3 start, staring at 0-4 if they can't beat the Redskins today. Could be a wide open race.
They call a timeout here, 2 minutes, 15 seconds left, because the 2-minute warning will give you an extra timeout. So you call the timeout with 15 seconds left to go, then you get your timeout as a 2-minute warning. So you get an extra timeout in this situation.
Sammy Garza is the man who has been handing the ball off for St. Louis. Garza's going to wind up with one completed pass in the game.
He's come in the game, and he really hasn't sparked him with his passing at all. He's been running the ball real well. He ran for a couple of first downs. He ran one in for a score, but he came in and provided some kind of spark. Whatever kind of spark you get, that's fine. It doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it.
As much as anything, he's just looked like a field general, and Halloran didn't.
They seem to be playing an awful lot better. The offensive line is coming off the ball better with him, and for what reason, we don't know, but he has added some spark. Good, tough running.
Derek McAdoo again.
That's good, tough running to dive up in there. He knew what he had to have for the first down, lowered his head and shoulder. He's a tough kid. Dive up in there and get it. Gene Stallings was real high on this guy.
And he converted the third down as we go to the 2-minute warning. So now, with 1st and goal from the 9, 2 minutes to go, we'll be back.
We're not a company, but no company has more pride in what they do, or more pride in how well they do it. We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future, one that goes far beyond the ordinary, one that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Air Force, the Marines, the Army, the Navy. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
You gotta be tough to keep 45 bears in line. But even us tough guys like a little extra comfort underneath. And that's why I switched from ordinary underwear to Hanes. I like the soft touch of Hanes pure cotton t-shirts and the smooth fit of Hanes comfort weave waistbands. Now I'm as nice to be around as a teddy bear. Right, guys?
I said, right, guys?
Right, Coach.
It's not just underwear. It's Hanes.
Experience a new dimension in sight and sound. Now every sight, every sound, every performance in the theater of life is yours. Trust RCA to bring it to you on the ultimate audio-video system, Dementia, only from RCA, the most trusted name in electronics.
Well, Kenny, if St. Louis wins this game, as it appears they probably will, these are going to be the lioness statistics of all time. They just converted their first third down of the game. They're 1 for 7. The Saints are 10 for 18 in that category. But as a result of the third down conversion on the McAdoo run, the Cardinals now have 1st and goal at the 9. Earl Farrell pounding the ball up inside. Clock running. And the Cardinals trying to add an insurance touchdown as New Orleans calls timeout.
Well, they've got one more left after this, and you can bet that the St. Louis Cardinals will keep the ball on the ground. You see Garza's headed over side. Jim Morrow's a little bit worried, and rightfully so. His team has dominated play. They've dominated yardage. They've dominated time of possession, but yet they've also dominated in mistakes. There's Garza. You see Garza on the sideline referring to his wrist. It's a wristband that they give him with a certain number of plays in certain situations.
Well, and offensive coordinator Jim Schaffner was talking about yesterday. He's doing a skeleton drill with Sammy Garza, and he said, Sammy, we're going to run, I don't know, you tell me the play.
We're going to run 64X out, Z-flag post or something like that. And Sammy Garza turned and looked at Jim Schaffner and said, could you run that by me again? But he hasn't been there very long at all. But they have high hopes for him, and they think he's got an awful lot of ability. He's a good leader. There was other teams around the league that were interested in him, and he has come in and supplied a spark. However you supply it, as long as you do.
64X corner Z-flag post. No, pitch to McAdoo. McAdoo gets it inside the 5. Saints stop the clock one more time.
I think that's their last timeout, Jim.
I think that is.
Saints timeout.
Morris says, yeah, that's right.
He agrees. He understands. Yep. Well, they've beaten themselves today. There's no doubt about that. As you made reference to all the stats, I mean, they've just turned the ball over in some critical situations and big special teams plays. They've missed extra points, and I'm sure Jim Moore wasn't quite expecting this kind of outcome, and he'll take them back, and he'll get them straightened out. Good coach. He's got that whole New Orleans town fired up. Here's Garza on the sidelines.
You think the Cardinals might go with 64X corner Z-flag post?
Right here? If they do, it's going to be a scoop.
The ball would be in Davenport, Iowa.
I'm sure he feels lucky to get out of here with the way things have happened. He understands that his team really hasn't played all that well. I mean, they've scored when they had to, and the Saints have helped them an awful lot. But overall picture, their team really hasn't played very well.
Well, Stallings is a big believer in the idea that you win football games with a few big plays here and there made by great players. And Leonard Smith is as responsible as anybody for this victory today for St. Louis.
He hit the whole, here's a naked bootleg.
Oh, what a move. He got pretty close. Ken Marchiol made the stop. Garza's inside the 1-yard line.
Good call. Just a naked bootleg down here. Whether he did that on his own or whether it was called, I'm sure that was called after the visit to the sideline.
Injured player on the field for the Saints. It's one way of stopping the clock. No, that's the cynical view. Number 22 is Derek Taylor, the free safety. Quickly, let's run through some scores of other games. New England holding off Buffalo 14-7. Dallas takes another step forward in the NFC East. Biggest attendance so far for a replacement game. San Diego trying to stay close to the Raiders in the AFC West. Miami pouring it on Kansas City. Green Bay leading Detroit 13-6. The Browns taking it on the chin perhaps from Houston, and that could damage the Browns' Super Bowl hopes, playoff hopes. Indianapolis not with the big offensive output today against the Jets after that explosion last week by Hogaboom.
Hogaboom throws 5 TDs last week. This week have a little more trouble. The Bears winding it up against the division team, Minnesota.
The Bears win in any league.
Bears play it tough.
They're going to be 4-0 for the 3rd time in 3 years.
Injured Saints player, 22, Derek Taylor. St. Louis 4th and goal at the 1.
So we'll see what St. Louis will do with 4th and goal at the 1. It does not appear that they're going to kick the field goal to make it 27-19. 27-19 would be...
27-19 makes them have to have 2 scores.
Yeah, that would be a safe margin. Instead, the flags are down as New Orleans gets another break with the clock stopped. 1:01 to go. If they don't get the touchdown, and if New Orleans were somehow to win the game, then you would question why they didn't kick the field goal right there.
Absolutely. They kicked the field goal there.
Number 75, after distance, 4th down.
Oh, they get a break here. they kick the field goal. It puts them up by 8, makes them have to have 2 scores. Gene Stallings thinking here, if you go in right here, and he puts the game away if you score. If you don't score, then the ball's inside the 1. It makes the New Orleans Saints have to go 99 yards. So I can understand his thinking.
That was encroachment by Bruce Clark. It's the first time I've called Bruce Clark's name all day.
Bruce Clark, great defensive end, all-pro type player, and he really hasn't, like you said, you haven't called his name much today. Really hasn't been a factor in the game.
We lead you to believe that Lance Smith and Tootie Robbins had a big day. There's a big play. Behind the line of scrimmage, McAdoo is met and dropped by number 28, Gene Atkins.
Good play by Gene Atkins. He's their nickelback. It comes in on the passing downs, but here you see the handoff. You see Farrell leading McAdoo, and there's Atkins untouched. Makes a nice tackle to stop him short. Now they've got 58 seconds to go 98 yards.
And still a chance to win the game, as St. Louis refrains from trying to kick the field goal that would have clinched a victory. And now it's nervous time for Gene Stallings and his staff.
All the Saints can do now is they got to spread things out, and they've got to throw the ball.
Cade on the gimpy knee in the end zone. Gets rid of it. Intended receiver was Rodenberger, but an incompletion may have been the best thing that could have happened to him there.
Well, that's all they can do now. They have no more timeouts, so they've got to throw the ball. They don't have time to huddle. They'll have to go with some kind of 2-minute type offense. Whether or not they've got enough of that in, it remains to be seen. But that's the only thing left for them to do. Cade showing a lot of class, a lot of poise, standing back in his own end zone, throwing the ball.
Redskins, Giants, 49ers, Falcons, both coming up after this. Or one or the other, I should say. Doubleheader game on CBS Sports. Second big drop of the day by Stacy Dawsey. Cade told us yesterday that he loved that little receiver, but he might not like him quite as much on the plane ride back.
Well, this reception right here gives him a little hope. It gives him a little light at the end of the tunnel if he catches this, because they get out there where they can maybe still do some things. So Cade running around doing what he does best, and he's got great field vision. There's Stacy Dawsey dropping a perfect strike, and gosh, you hate to see that as a quarterback, especially in this situation.
3rd and 10 at the 2.
Sure, he hates it too.
3rd down 10.
Here comes Leonard Smith. Nope.
There's a catch and a first down.
They've got to hustle now because they have no more timeouts, and this is a rookie group together. They haven't played very much together. This is tough on these guys. They have to do it. Cade's trying his best to lead them.
It was Eric Martin who made the catch. Cardinals are polite enough to get in position. Cade goes again and gets an incompletion. That time, Dawsey didn't really want to catch it.
A little bit behind him, but it just as well. It stops the clock right now, and they can gather themselves in the huddle and get their heads together, come up with a good play.
Flag was thrown on the far side of the field, and the offside call against the Cardinals. Offside was called against Curtis Greer, who apparently lined up in the neutral zone. There's Greer, big man out of Michigan. Crossed the picket line on Wednesday, September 30.
Real good defensive lineman for them. He's gone through 2 arthroscopic surgeries in the last year, but still lined up and playing.
Oh, nice catch on the snap. Look at him moving around on that bad knee. Now, this may not be the best decision in history, but he gets out of bounds. Looks like they're going to have about one more shot.
Just a real gutty performance by John Cade. I mean, he's hurting. You can tell he's obviously hurting, but he's been that way for half the game. He was hurt in the first half of the game, and he's just running around trying to make things happen, doing what he does best, get outside and put pressure on the corners of the defense, let those receivers work, and it's a gutty performance by this man.
It'll be fascinating to see if Cade can play next week. Probably so. We'll get a few days to rest that knee. Kenny's always walked like that.
I think those things come with playing quarterback. Here he is again. The only thing left to do is cut it loose.
Picked off. And that'll do it. Mark Mathis made the interception. And And Gene Stallings has a rather unlikely victory over Jim Mora and the Saints. A game completely dominated by the St. Louis offense. The final passing statistics for St. Louis showed 4 yards. 4 yards passing in the game, but the Cardinals won it anyway. So for Ken Stabler, this is Jim Lampley saying so long from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, where the final score was the St. Louis Cardinals 24 and the New Orleans Saints 19. CBS Sports coverage of the